Stand at ease, please, and please sit down. The reason why I wanted to talk to you today is, first of all, I wanted to thank you for joining our resistance and our organization. And I want to basically, I like for all new recruits to come in here, and I want to tell you what the situation is at the moment in the country that was known as the United States of America. I'm sure you already know a lot of what's going on, but I just want to get you up to speed with our new intelligence. You know, as you know, there's no longer any real media, television, newspapers. You know, so you might be somewhat out of touch, as we don't really know everything that's going on either. But basically what I can tell you is what used to be known as the Northern United States is now named Lower Canada. The Canadians, who are being backed up by the Russians and Chinese, have basically taken it over, and there's not a lot that we can do about it. They're receiving a lot of military aid from the Russians and Chinese in exchange for their extensive commodities. You know, we no longer have the money or resources to trade with them, and they basically saw an advantage and took it. As well as Mexico has taken over from California to Texas, what was left of it anyways. There's not much left of California. But, you know, they've taken it over, and it's called New Aztlan. The area that we control is what was known as the Southern United States. It's from Missouri to Virginia and down, and that is known as the New Republic. There is still a federal government, a somewhat of a remnant. They're in Colorado. They were able to hide out in underground bases there, and they are trying to make a resurgence, but they're very, very weakened. Washington, D.C. no longer exists. It was taken out in a Russian military nuclear strike. Our control over this area is very tenuous at best. We're receiving probing attacks and reconnaissance at all times from the Canadians, the Mexicans, and also the Chinese, who are trying to establish debtor prisons here to recoup their investments. You need to be vigilant at all times. As you may know, we're running low on all types of supplies. We have very little food left. We have some corn that we were able to store, and we converted a lot of it into moonshine, and we're using that to barter with. You know, we figured it would be much more easy to transport, as there's very little petroleum left in order to fuel vehicles. Mostly we're using horses now, and the moonshine is just a lot more practical in that sense. The only reason why we're able to somewhat exist is we've made treaties with the Cubans and the Belizeans and Honduranians, and we've been trading with them through sailboats, using our moonshine and whatever else that we have to trade with. Also, we trade some of our prisoners of war as slaves with them in exchange for food, clothing. We're able to get a lot of this equipment, British equipment from down there, British uniforms, and the same thing that you guys are wearing. And as you know, we're also running very low on ammunition. We were able to trade for 10,000 rounds of 40 caliber hollow points with what used to be known as Homeland Security. They used most of it executing protesters who were blocking freeways when the main part of the revolution began. Homeland Security really no longer exists. They're a very weakened force, and they're all actually doing worse than we are. And we're able to trade some corn for that ammunition. So, basically, if you can, I want you to use these machetes that you've been issued with before you use weapons, since we're running so low. If you do kill someone, it's necessary that you bring back evidence of what. If you use one round, you need to bring back a head or a hand as evidence that it was effective. And if not, you will receive disciplinary action. So that's why I suggest you use this. It's a lot more inexpensive, and we're running very low. As you know, there's very few buildings left. The only buildings that have survived all the riots, revolutions, and war are basically the concrete and brick buildings, the concrete tilt-ups, which is our base here. All the wooden stick frame buildings are gone. I need you to stay away from what used to be real estate offices, car dealerships, and City Hall. Basically, all those people have converted into houses of prostitution, and it's full of disease. diseases, and it's a very dangerous place. So I need you to maintain discipline at all times and stay away from that. We're basically the only remaining military force in this area. All the United States soldiers, mercenaries, and contractors that were over in Iraq and Afghanistan got abandoned there after World War III. Really not sure what happened to them, but basically the government couldn't afford to bring them back, and after the Israeli-Iran war, it's pretty certain that a lot of them got killed in nuclear strikes. It's unfortunate, but we're going to have to maintain order in this area now. And we're going to try and take back as much territory as we can, and we're trying to maintain a tax system to fund our militia and to establish trade with the rest of the world. One more thing I wanted to let you know is that our force maintains no rigid rank structure, and it's all on merit, all on personal ability. We try to have no politics within our force, and I want to just want to make sure that I don't want to see any egotism or class, the old class structure or rank structure creeping into our unit. Thank you very much. You're dismissed.